Alex had made a promise to Sarah, a promise to love her always and to be there for her, no matter what. Despite her tragic death, he was determined to keep that promise in any way he could. He knew that she would be with him in spirit as he carried on, and he would do everything in his power to honor her memory. One of the ways Alex kept his promise to Sarah was by looking out for her family. He had grown close to them during his courtship with Sarah, and he couldn't bear to see them suffer. He made sure to visit them whenever he could, offering comfort and support, and helping them in any way possible. Alex also continued to write letters to Sarah, pouring his heart out onto the pages as if she could still read them. He shared his triumphs and challenges, his hopes and fears, and expressed his unwavering love for her. It was his way of staying connected to her and keeping their bond alive, even though she was no longer physically with him. In the midst of the chaos of war, Alex never forgot the promise he had made to Sarah to live a life that would make her proud. He channeled his grief and pain into a fierce determination to make a positive impact, to help those in need, and to fight for justice and freedom. He knew that Sarah would be cheering him on from above, spurring him forward. Alex's actions on the battlefield spoke volumes of his commitment to keeping his promise. He led his fellow soldiers with courage and honor, and he never backed down in the face of danger. He was known for his selflessness and bravery, and he earned the respect and admiration of his comrades. Despite the hardships and losses he faced, Alex never lost sight of the love he had for Sarah. Her memory remained a guiding light in his life, and he held on to their precious moments together with unwavering devotion. He found solace in knowing that he was living a life that would make her proud, and he was determined to make every moment count. As the war finally came to an end, Alex carried Sarah's memory with him as he returned home. He reunited with her family, sharing stories of their time together and offering them comfort as they grieved. He continued to write letters to Sarah, knowing that their love transcended time and space, and that she would always be with him in his heart. Years passed, and Alex's love for Sarah never waned. He lived a life that honored her memory, filled with purpose, compassion, and resilience. He found joy in helping others, and he cherished the memories of their love, holding on to them forever. As Alex grew older, he knew that his time on Earth was coming to an end. He made arrangements to ensure that Sarah's memory would be preserved, passing down their love story to future generations. He knew that their love would live on in the hearts of those who heard their tale. In the end, Alex fulfilled his promise to Sarah. He had loved her always, and he had lived a life that made her proud. As he took his last breath, he knew that he would be reunited with his beloved Sarah in a place where their love would never fade. Their story would be forever remembered, and their promise kept for all time. After keeping his promise to Sarah for years, Alex found himself at a crossroads. He had honored her memory in every way he could, but he knew that life had to move forward. He couldn't stay stuck in the past forever. He had to find a way to continue living, while always carrying Sarah's love in his heart. At first, moving forward seemed impossible. The weight of grief and loss weighed heavily on Alex's shoulders, and he struggled to find a sense of purpose without Sarah by his side. But he knew that Sarah wouldn't want him to give up on life. She had always been his source of inspiration and strength, and he couldn't let her down. With the support of Sarah's family and his fellow soldiers, Alex slowly began to rebuild his life. He threw himself into work, finding solace in helping others and making a positive impact in the world. He also sought out counseling and support groups, allowing himself to grieve and process his emotions. As time went on, Alex realized that moving forward didn't mean forgetting Sarah or replacing her. She would always hold a special place in his heart, and her memory would forever be a part of him. But he also knew that he deserved to find happiness and fulfillment in his own life, just as Sarah would have wanted for him. Alex learned to find joy in the simple things, like taking long walks in nature, listening to music, and spending time with loved ones. He surrounded himself with positive influences and pursued his passions, knowing that he was living a life that honored Sarah's memory. Alex also found comfort in honoring Sarah's legacy. He continued to support causes that were dear to her heart and shared their love story with others, hoping to inspire and encourage those who were facing their own challenges. He knew that Sarah's love would continue to touch lives, even though she was no longer physically present. In the midst of his grief and healing, Alex also found new connections and friendships. He realized that it was okay to open his heart to new experiences and people, without betraying his love for Sarah. He learned that love could exist in many forms, and that it was possible to carry multiple loves in his heart at the same time. As the years passed, Alex found a renewed sense of purpose and meaning in his life. He continued to remember and cherish his love for Sarah, but he also embraced the present moment and looked towards the future with hope. He knew that Sarah's love had changed him forever, and he was determined to make the most of the life he had been given. Alex's journey of moving forward wasn't always easy. There were moments of sadness and longing, and he missed Sarah deeply. But he also knew that he had come a long way since that fateful day when he made a promise to her. He had honored that promise in the best way he could, and he was proud of the person he had become. In the end, Alex found peace in knowing that Sarah's love would always be a part of him, and that she would be with him in spirit wherever life took him. He was grateful for the time they had shared and the love they had experienced, and he was determined to continue living a life that made both him and Sarah proud. To heal and find ways to move forward, he realized that new beginnings were possible. He had come a long way from the pain and heartbreak of losing Sarah, and he was ready to embrace the future with open arms. One of the new beginnings that Alex found was in his career. He had always been passionate about helping others, and he decided to dedicate his time and energy to a cause that was close to his heart. He joined a veterans support organization, where he could use his own experiences to make a positive impact on the lives of fellow soldiers who were struggling with their own challenges. Working with the Veterans Support Organization brought a new sense of purpose and fulfillment to Alex's life. He found solace in helping his fellow soldiers navigate the difficult journey of healing and rebuilding after war. It was a way for him to give back and honor the memory of Sarah, who had always believed in the importance of supporting those who served. Working with the Veterans Support Organization brought a new sense of purpose and fulfillment to Alex's life. He found solace in helping his fellow soldiers navigate the difficult journey of healing and rebuilding after war. It was a way for him to give back and honor the memory of Sarah, who had always believed in the importance of supporting those who served. Through his work with the organization, Alex also met other individuals who had experienced loss and grief. He found comfort in connecting with others who understood his pain and could offer support and empathy. It was a reminder that he wasn't alone in his journey, and that there were others who had walked a similar path. In addition to his work, Alex also found new beginnings in his personal life. He gradually opened his heart to the possibility of love again, though he knew that no one could ever replace Sarah. He was cautious and took his time, but eventually, he met someone who touched his heart in a special way. Her name was Emily, and she was a nurse who shared Alex's passion for helping others. She had a kind and compassionate heart, and she understood and respected Alex's past and the love he held for Sarah. They bonded over their shared experiences and found comfort in each other's company. Alex and Emily's relationship blossomed slowly but steadily. They took their time getting to know each other, building a foundation of trust and understanding. Alex appreciated Emily's patience and understanding as he navigated his grief and healing process, and Emily admired Alex's resilience and strength. With Emily's support, Alex began to see the possibility of a new future. He realized that he could love again, while still honoring the memory of Sarah in his heart. Emily became a source of comfort and happiness in his life, and he found himself smiling and laughing again, something he thought was impossible after Sarah's death. Alex also found joy in other aspects of life. He pursued his hobbies, traveled to new places, and spent time with family and friends. He learned to cherish the present moment and appreciate the beauty of life, knowing that every day was a precious gift. As time went on, Alex and Emily's relationship deepened, and they decided to take a new step together. They got engaged and began planning a future together. It was a bittersweet moment for Alex, as he knew that Sarah would always have a special place in his heart, but he was also grateful for the love and happiness he had found with Emily. Alex's journey of new beginnings wasn't without its challenges. He still had moments of grief and sadness, and he missed Sarah deeply. But he had learned to carry her love with him as he moved forward in life, and he knew that she would always be a part of his story. With Emily by his side, Alex looked towards the future with hope and optimism. He knew that life would continue to present its challenges, but he was determined to face. As Alex embarked on new beginnings and found love with Emily, he knew that Sarah would always hold a special place in his heart. Her memory was etched in his soul, and he carried her love with him wherever he went. He vowed to honor her legacy and keep her forever in his heart. Alex and Emily's wedding day was a bittersweet occasion. It was a day filled with love and joy, as they exchanged vows and promised to spend their lives together. But it was also a day tinged with sadness, as Alex missed Sarah deeply and wished she could be there to share in the celebration. During the wedding ceremony, Alex took a moment to honor Sarah's memory. He lit a candle in her honor and spoke words of love and gratitude for the impact she had on his life. He thanked her for the precious time they had together and promised to carry her love with him always. As Alex and Emily began their married life together, they faced their share of challenges. There were moments when grief would resurface, and memories of Sarah would flood Alex's mind. Emily stood by him with unwavering support and understanding, knowing that Sarah would always hold a special place in their hearts. Together, Alex and Emily created a home filled with love and warmth. They built a life together, filled with shared dreams, laughter, and tears. Alex found solace in Emily's presence and the love they shared, while still cherishing the memories of Sarah and the love they had once known. Alex continued his work with the Veterans Support Organization, helping fellow soldiers who were struggling with their own challenges. He poured his heart and soul into making a positive impact on their lives, knowing that he was carrying on Sarah's legacy of compassion and support for those who served. In their years together, Alex and Emily faced many ups and downs, but their love remained strong. They celebrated milestones, traveled to new places, and built a lifetime of memories. Sarah's presence was felt in their home, as they kept her memory alive through stories, photos, and cherished mementos. As Alex grew older, he realized that Sarah's love would be with him forever. She had left an indelible mark on his heart, and her memory would always be a part of him. He continued to honor her legacy by living a life of purpose, love, and compassion. In their golden years, Alex and Emily grew old together, surrounded by their children and grandchildren. They reminisced about their journey, the love they shared, and the memories they had made. Sarah's name was spoken with reverence and love, a cherished presence in their family's history. As Alex's time on this earth drew to a close, he knew that he would be reunited with Sarah once again. He smiled as he thought about the promise he had made to her so long ago, to keep her love in his heart forever. He was grateful for the love and joy he had found with Emily, and for the memories of Sarah that would live on in his heart. With his loved ones gathered around him, Alex took his last breath with a peaceful heart, knowing that he had kept his promise to Sarah. His legacy of love and resilience would live on in the hearts of those he left behind, and his love for Sarah would be forever in his heart. Emily continued to carry on Alex's legacy of love and compassion, passing down the stories of his life and the love he had for Sarah to their children and grandchildren. Sarah's memory lived on in their family,